Hey everyone, just wanted to let y'all know that my physical copy of my graphic novel is now available to purchase on Amazon. There's also the ebook form, but it's finally done. I'm excited. Finally got the physical copy ready to go. So if you want to check that out, I'll leave the links down in the descriptions, alright? Other than that, I hope you enjoy the video. Bye. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Wicked Art. It's Wicked here, and I thought I'd have some fun this week and draw my top 5 favorite Marvel characters of all time. So that means of all the Marvel Universe, I'm going to be drawing my top 5 favorite characters, and you're kind of getting a two-for special on this one because I just really couldn't narrow it down. I'm starting with number 5 on my list, and it is a tie between Wolverine and Captain America. I've loved these two characters since I was very little. I saw Wolverine for the first time in the early 90s during the Executioner song, is when my dad first bought me a comic. It had Bishop and Cable in it, and then I had my first exposure to Captain America a couple years before that, but I just really love the idea of Captain America's character. He's always the good guy, he's always willing to help and all that other stuff. And Captain America is just really just kind of just had that personality that I've liked. So he's always just been, in my top 5. But Wolverine, though, is a really cool character, great background. The powers are great, and his, being willing to do the thing that most people aren't, and then still having a big, huge heart, or as they used to say back in the day, he has a heart as big as the great outdoors. So that is my number 5. So I'm going to explain a little bit what I'm doing. So first I decided to just go ahead and kind of sketch things out. And then I am going to push it all the way into Photoshop and color the image to pay tribute in my style to these characters. Um, I was trying to find a pose that would kind of stand out, so I decided to do kind of like a poster thing. So that's why I have Wolverine kind of squatting down and then Cap a little bit bigger in the background. So once I get done drawing and just kind of sketching it out, I just kind of took a picture of it and then just brought it into Photoshop. I created a layer above it, just called it, like, I wanted to separate the two, so I just did Wolverine lines layer. And while I'm doing that, I'm also going to add in, inking and stuff like that. And then I added a new layer below that and just called that, cap layer. So this is going to be his own separate lines. That way I can color them individually without going over or running into anything. So the design I kind of went with Cap was kind of like a mix of, from the movies and what he kind of looks like in the comics now. I know he kind of put him back in more of his traditional thing. I always like it, with the wings on the side of his head, but I didn't really want to add that in on this one. Just, just so people kind of recognize, who he is. And a lot of people, I'm surprised I've run into, they don't really know that Captain America had the wings on his head initially. But yeah, so what I'm doing now is just going back in. I'm adding some inking. Wolverine's a very hairy dude, so I had to put some hair on his arms. But I wanted to do that traditional yellow, blue, and black, and I think he has a red belt. So if I got that wrong, let me know in the comments. But I think his belt's red. Um, and then with Captain America, I kind of adjusted his chin a little bit. I didn't realize I drew it so long. But I'm doing the same thing for him. I'm just kind of inking everything in. That way, a good solid shadow foundation. It's a little bit of comic booky mixed with kind of like what I like to do in my own graphic novel and comics. And then what I do is I just go under each character, and you'll see me do it. I just add a new layer and just call it color, and then I just start coloring them in. So this is just your flat layer. Um, and then once you're done with your flats, then you can start worrying about um, things like your shadows and your highlights. So I always take care of the flats first. Now there's many ways to do it with shadowing. If you're a very painterly type person, you could paint. But me personally, I like to do the cell shaded, more of a cartoon type comic of things when I do it. So yeah, once I got those flats in there, I just added a new layer above each one of their color flats. I set the opacity down to 50 and just called it shadows, and you can see now how it just kind of paints over the color, gives it a nice, like, almost cartoony color in. And then I just kind of started thinking about a mix between what looks cool and what's actually comic, or actually like accurate to light. So really, I tend to lean more toward what looks cool, but while kind of sticking towards what you should be shading as. Then once I got done with that, I just went in and added a new layer and just put in some highlights, especially on like their suit areas. I don't really like to put it on the skin too much, even though I know I should. But to me personally, I didn't want to. So yeah, this was my first of the top 5 favorite Marvel characters of all time. Again, it was a tie between Wolverine and Captain America. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Can't wait to see you in number 4. Until next time, keep sketching. I'll see you in the next one. All right? Bye.